Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, August 24th. We're almost coming to the end of summer. We're winding it up. I think officially the last holiday is Labor Day, which is coming up. I believe September, is it the 5th or the 6th or the 7th, one of those days. And then we'll be in for the winter. So, this week's update. I'm still learning my Hume Health band and my scale, so it's definitely getting more metrics. I'm actually proud. I measured myself this morning. My current weight is actually 210, so I've dropped down considerably. I think when I started this journey, I was almost like 227, and now I'm at 210, right on track. I think the key thing is every week improving, right? Every week improving. And that's the thing that I'm really excited about, right? I'm seeing a drop. My sleep score is way better, and I think it's just that consciousness of, hey, I got something I have to report on Monday, right? And if I've been slacking, and I won't have anything to report. So that forces me. There's some days I'm like, man, I can't do this, right? But then I remember that report that I have to share every Monday, and that really holds me accountable, right? So anyway, my resting heart rate went up. It's supposed to go down. My heart rate variation went up. That's a good thing. I did do a walk this week at the park. So I did about 3 miles on Monday. My VO2 max, it's still not great, but it's definitely an improvement from the last time, I think 6 months ago, or 4 months ago. Daily steps is definitely going up. My sleep, it went down by a little bit. I'm not sure. Because, the other thing is, I've noticed that I lose sleep. So I try to go to bed at least by 10. But then at around 3 a.m., I'm bat wide awake, right? And then I'll chill, I'll get on my phone, which is the worst thing you could do, that blue light. And then I'll fall back, or maybe an hour later, I'll go into deep sleep again. So that interruption is definitely affecting my continuous sleep. I find it really hard to continuously sleep, being that I go to bed early. But also the walking, the daily steps definitely helps a lot. So weight, definitely it's at 210. I'm really excited about that. My blood pressure is fine, right? I try and shoot so optimal is 120 by 80, right? That's optimal, but 117 to 68 is pretty good on average, right? So let's see what's new. Definitely getting way more data. Right? And then sleep duration. So it says, hey, I try and hit a 7. And I've noticed that the other thing is just literally going to bed, just going to bed. Even if you're not sleepy, making it a routine, your body will adapt, right? Just going to bed at a very specific time every day, right? Your body will adapt, and eventually you will start falling asleep, right? Time in bed is very different from time asleep. But the fact that you're actually going to bed, right? And it may feel like punishment, right? Because you're not sleepy. But just the fact that you're in bed, that is usually a mental trigger for your body to actually start putting you to sleep. So I know this is something that I've had to struggle with. I'm I'm not even sleepy. Why the hell am I in bed, right? But I guarantee you, right? Your body will eventually, because it's all it's that mental chatter. But if you take it you're forcing your body to actually adapt, and the trigger is you being in bed, it's just like going to the gym, right? There's days you don't really feel like going to the gym, but the minute you put on gym clothes, that's your mental trigger that, hey, it's time to go to the gym, right? So these mental triggers, it's more about the action, right? Remember, I think I heard somewhere your mind will give in way earlier before your body does, right? So the key thing is to always force the body, right, to actually do the things, and then the mind will adapt, right? So that's what I would say. So just go to bed. Just even if you don't feel sleepy, the minute it's 10 p.m., if 10 p.m. is your scheduled time to go to sleep, then go to bed, right? Just go to bed. even if you don't feel like sleeping. And the worst thing you could do when you go to bed, don't be on your phone. Like, just, close your eyes, be grateful, say a prayer, whatever it is, whatever routine you do. I would highly recommend you start a routine, whether it's meditating about what you're grateful for. And then very, very soon, you will start falling asleep, right? Very soon. Because your body, eventually your mind is going to be like, oh, this person is in a relaxed state, so I guess it's time to shut it down and let them go to sleep, right? And there's so many, like, studies have shown the value, like, everything is highly correlated with sleep, right? Your resting phase, your recovery score, like, you see, my recovery score has been really high, which allows me to actually perform even better, right? I notice the days that I'm actually sleeping well, I'm able to go and do my workouts even better, right? But if I'm not getting that sleep, guess what? My workouts are all messed up, right? So sleep is really, really, really important. If you don't do anything else, right? If you don't do anything else, just start with having great sleep. Because once you have great sleep, that rest cycle is sometimes as important as the active cycle. Like, all the activity, the motion, the moving, if you're not resting enough, you're not recovering. And if you're not recovering, you can't do the same thing again, right? You'll be beat up, you'll be exhausted, and even injuries, right? So I would highly recommend you definitely need to rest. So I'm still working my weight, and, I'm still trying to my goal is still to get to a 5K in under 20 minutes, right? My times, right now, I don't even care about my times. I'm just really focusing on my baseline and my consistency. That's the first thing, right? And sometimes consistency takes a long time because, again, it's because your mind wants to be consistent, your body also wants to be consistent, but your mind sometimes like, no, you can't do it, right? It gives in. So there's definitely a lack of reconciliation between the mind and the body, right? But once those two align and they reconcile, man, you're going to be a machine, right? You're going to be a machine, and you don't even need to be told. Your body will trigger and tell you, hey, it's time you get up and do something. I've also started doing like squats. I did a little bit of research, and I saw the value of actually doing squats. Like, we're not designed, as human beings, we're not designed to be sitting for 8 hours, right? So just every so often doing like a really deep squat, or even doing like, you could start out with just doing 10, 15 squats every break you have. Just do like 10, 15. And I noticed that actually improves my leg strength. Like, I can now even lift more weight. I could definitely lift more weight because of doing those squats. And the beauty of it, like, you don't need any weights, like just your body weight, right? If you could literally do your own body weight, like your push-ups and squats and, and sit-ups and things like that, then you're actually improving your body for motion, right? Weights is great, but the problem with weights, like it only trains like body parts, right? As if every body part works in isolation. But body parts don't work in isolation. They're part of an entire system. And that's why, like, weights are good as a supplemental exercise regimen. But the best type of exercise is literally using your body parts, right? Like, if you're doing push-ups, you're doing sit-ups, because it's inclusive of all your body parts, right? And when you're moving, you're not just moving legs and then your hands and your upper body is stagnant. They're moving too, right? So when you're actually, I think it's called calisthenics. Don't butcher me, don't penalize me on the pronunciation. Calisthenics, I think, yeah, where you're using your own body weight to actually exercise. And I think that's the best and the purest form of exercise, because when you're in motion, when you're actually sitting up and standing and running, you're using all your body parts, right? And you can't just work one section at a time. Yeah, for sculpturing, it's great. But for motion and strength long term and stability, I think it's great that you definitely incorporate the two. I'm not an if or or this or that. Like I'm not binary. You know, I'm more supplemental. Like, yeah, there's times where you want to use machine weights, you know, to train like specific body parts. Great, go ahead. You know, do your exercises using weights, right? Free weights or whatever weights, right? And then but also incorporate like doing your own body weight training, right? Whether it's pull-ups, you know, whether it's push-ups, even squats. So yeah, that's it. So recommendation, sleep duration, it's trying to get to a 7-hour target. Okay, not too bad. It's definitely an improvement. REM suppression, 78 minutes per night. That means, you know, shows anywhere else. Memory. REM. Slept well, 42 minutes a night. Deep held at 89. REM dropped 18 minutes to 78. The body protects deep sleep first and cuts REM, which lives in the back half of the night. I think that's what it's telling me. Like, hey, you know, the first half I'm sleeping pretty well, and then the rest of the other half I'm just losing sleep, you know. Efficiency improved sharply. Awake in bed fell from 71 minutes. That's great, you know. Falling asleep is no longer the problem. Time in bed is. Okay, that's great. So yeah, I need to go to bed early. Weight down, body fat up. So yeah, I get it, you know. It's putting me out, right? So I lost some weight, and I believe I have a lot of water weight. So because I sweat, I still sweat. Typically, like when you know you don't have a lot of water weight is when you're exercising and it's taking time for you to actually sweat. For me, I sweat like instantly, and it's heavy sweat, like drenched, like my clothes are drenched in sweat. So that means I'm carrying a lot of water weight, right? I probably need to also start incorporating like a sauna routine where I go in and just sit in the sauna. That will probably help. Move bedtime 45 minutes earlier and keep the night unbroken. I'll try. With efficiency this high, added time in bed converts almost directly into sleep, which was not true last week. Okay, so those are my recommendations. So hopefully you have a great week, and whatever your regimen, like do something, move, lift weight, do some exercises, and then eat healthy, right? I'm still doing the 12 to 7, you know, sometimes not as well. I did grill on Saturday. I enjoyed the grilling, and yeah, you know, at least I have food for the week. Grilled food is pretty good. I even grilled a few carrots and beets. But yeah, I look forward to this week. I look forward to hearing from you. Put in the comments, what are you working on? How's your workout routine coming along? And how are you tracking it? Cheers. Bye.